Happy New Year's Eve, Packer fans. We're going to round out 2025 in a pretty positive way. I got a double dose of great news to get to on today's program. First part of that is going to be about a potential playoff matchup. They're going to round things out with a big roster move Green Bay made today. Speaking of today, it is the final day of our 2025 sub battle against our Chicago Bears channel, and we're only down 170 subs. This is like a David and Goliath situation. This channel started in January. Bears now, in January, already had 100,000 subscribers, or close to it. Maybe even a little bit more, I'm pretty sure. And we could still beat them, okay? I need you guys to help me out. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet, and in return, you get daily videos. If we win this one, I can't think of a better way to start off 2026. The first part of our double dose of great news is that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to rest their starters in Week 18 against the Washington Commanders. Jeff McClain, Eagles insider, is the one who had the scoop today. A to Z Sports tweeted out that they're expected to rest Jalen Hurts and most of their starters. I would imagine that means Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown. And if you might be a little confused about why we're talking about this, I understand it. But this is great news for Green Bay because we knew that going into this week, your opponent is not guaranteed yet, right? You still know there's a chance you either play Chicago or you play Philadelphia. But if the Philadelphia Eagles lose, then it really doesn't matter what happens with that Chicago game. You're going to play the Bears. Like you play Chicago if the Bears win or if both teams lose. And so the fact that Philadelphia is not playing their starters makes me feel a lot better about them losing that football game because you still could play Philly, right? All that has to happen is the Bears lose to the Detroit Lions, who, yeah, their season has not gone that great, but we all know that's still a talented roster, and the Eagles win. It's going to be a lot harder to win. I don't care if it is against Washington or not when you don't have your best guys playing in that football game. Personally, I would way rather play the Chicago Bears. We talked about it, I think, earlier in the week. I believe it was our Monday episode. But I just think you're going to have a better shot beating Chicago than you would Philadelphia. And there's multiple reasons for that. Now, there's pros and cons when it comes to playing both teams. For Chicago, like, you've already beaten them once. That's a pro. It's the first playoff game for Caleb Williams and for Ben Johnson as a head coach. And statistically, over the last couple of decades, Soldier Field has been good to you. Doesn't scare me too much going to play there. Now, the cons are their offense can be elite. It's an offense that can put up points on you, and without having Micah Parsons, even though you didn't have him last time, I don't absolutely love that. Soldier Field can get hostile at times. They got a really good crowd there. And it does scare me a little bit that there's less pressure on Chicago than there would be on Green Bay to win that game. Like, nobody expected Chicago to be here this early. Everybody expected you to make it in the playoffs and, honestly, win a game or two. Now, playing Philadelphia has its pros and cons as well. They got a struggling offense. That's a pro. Ton of pressure for them to win. They just won a Super Bowl. They won the NFC East. And they've got a quarterback without elite arm talent in Jalen Hurts. He's good. He knows how to win. But he doesn't scare me much throwing the football. Now, the cons are they got an elite defense. They know how to win in the playoffs. And they would be coming off a game against Washington, which they're resting their starters. And, that would be basically like a mini bye. The NFC playoff picture looks as follows. Green Bay in that 7th seed, no matter what happens on Sunday against Minnesota, they're going to stay in that 7th seed. But it's the 2 and it's the 3 that we're looking at, that we are monitoring to see who you're going to play in that first round. Of course, whoever you do play, we're going to have you covered right here on the channel with a video later on Sunday night to tell you who the matchup is and how you can best take them down. Who would you rather play out of those two teams? Let me know. Chicago or Philadelphia. Get down below in the comment section and give me your answer. I personally would rather play Chicago than Philly, but you let me know where you would sit. The Packers made a big roster move. That's the second part of our great news today. Also, you can just go ahead and add in there, maybe even a triple dose of great news. Jordan Love is practicing today in a limited capacity, although he still is in concussion protocol. But they felt like it was time to address the quarterback position. Not the only position they've addressed this week. It's been a very, very busy roster week for the Packers. Definitely busier than you see a team with playoff chances in Week 18. Now, the reason for that is because a ton of injuries. Of course, when you talk injuries, you got to talk quarterback position, and that's why they addressed it today. Tom Pelissero tweeted out earlier, veteran quarterback Desmond Ridder is signing the Packers practice squad per source. With Jordan Love and Malik Willis dealing with injuries and Green Bay locked in the number 7 seed, Ridder could be elevated for Sunday's game against Minnesota. If you've missed Desmond Ridder's career, it's been a little bit underwhelming. This most recent season he played was 2024, only 6 games with the Raiders, 458 yards, 2 touchdowns, 61% completion percentage. He played pretty much a full season for Atlanta, 2,836 yards, 12 touchdowns, and his rookie year, only 4 games, 708 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, this is just insurance. But I like the chances of beating Minnesota with Desmond Ridder over Clayton Tune, if I'm being 100% honest with you. I know Clayton Tune has not done great in the National Football League, but at least he's had experience in the National Football League. And we talked about it a lot on this channel. If you beat Minnesota, it doesn't matter technically, but I would far rather be going into the playoffs riding a 1-game win streak than a 4-game losing streak. Now, of course, there's still the quarterback injuries to monitor throughout the week. Jordan Love dealing with that concussion. Malik Willis dealing with the shoulder. Matt LaFleur confirmed today, again, Jordan Love will be limited practice. Malik Willis will not be, as he re-aggravated that shoulder game late against the Baltimore Ravens. You got to hope both those guys are going to be available come playoff time. If not, Desmond Ridder going to be your practice squad guy. Maybe he gets elevated to the 53-man by the time you roll into Minnesota on Sunday. Grade the Desmond Ridder signing. Scale that 1 to 100 down below in the comment section for me. 100, you like it the best. 1, you don't like it at all. Let me know what your answer is. I got something I know you'll like. Our great friends over at Underdog. Football season is almost over, and Underdog is still the best place to get in on all the action. Let's cut to the chase. Download the app today and use promo code PackersReport to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. Producer Cage and I will be live tonight for the Cotton Bowl between Ohio State and Miami. Here's my Underdog lineup for that game. Give me the higher. Julian Sayin, 1.5 passing touchdowns. Jeremiah Smith, one of my favorite players in the country, higher than 81.5 receiving yards. And Mark Fletcher Jr., very underrated running back over there in Miami. Give me the higher on 55.5 rush yards, even though that Buckeye defense is really, really good. Download the app today and use promo code PackersReport. Score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That is promo code PackersReport. Underdog, make picks, win money. We thank Underdog for sponsoring today's show. Must be 18 or older, 19 or older in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 or older in Colorado for some games, 21 or older in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing-good-terms_DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. All right, let's talk about the additional roster moves because like I talked about before we discussed Desmond Ridder, it has been a very, very busy week. In fact, Green Bay over the last 48 hours has made 8 different roster moves. Very, very busy couple of days for Brian Gutekunst. Most recently, Carson Barnhart, offensive tackle, was signed to the practice squad. That one ended up going down today. You made 2 cornerback signings to the practice squad yesterday. One of them was Shamar Bartholomew, and then the other one was Jalen Simpson. Practice squad just getting a little bit more players because obviously as injuries happen, you got to elevate practice squad players to the active roster. Then you got to fill those holes. Jonathan Ford was taken off of waivers from Chicago. Obviously, we're used to Jonathan Ford's 7th-round pick in 2022 in Green Bay. Welcome back. And Damian Martinez signed the practice squad. I actually really, really like that move. I'll talk more about that tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned. Other roster moves. These not as positive. Kamal Haddon added to the IR. Jordan Riley added to the IR as well. In injury news, Zane Anderson and Nate Hobbs both expected not to be back in time for the playoffs. Their season most likely over. Unfortunately, Matt LaFleur confirmed that today. Quentin Bohanna also released from that defensive line. So, both those guys with the injuries they suffered had to get carted off against the Baltimore Ravens. You won't see them for the rest of the year, season-ending IR. That's going to do it for the roster moves. But we talked college football in the Underdog League. Let's talk the college football bracket, okay? I want to get my bracket predictions on record. I went, I believe, Gage, did I go 75% in the first round? I did. I had Alabama, Ole Miss, and then I had Oregon, but I did have A&M over Miami. So I went 75%. Let's see if I can do a little bit better. Here's how I like the bracket to shape out. I think Ohio State over the Hurricanes. I think that one, Ohio State probably wins by 2 scores. I like Georgia over Ole Miss. I feel like that one, Georgia probably wins by 2 scores. Hot take. I'm going to take Alabama over Indiana. They're getting healthy at the right time. Big win for them in Norman on the road, neutral site. I think that one's going to be a really, really fun one. And the game I'm probably most excited for, Oregon, Texas Tech. That one's going to be in the Orange Bowl. I'm going to take the Ducks over the Red Raiders, although I do think it's a pretty close game. That'll do it for today's show. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. A little NFL talk, a little bit of college football talk. That's what we do here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys follow me on social media. My handles are at JoeyPetersen8 for both Instagram and Twitter. Active daily. Those links are in the comment section. And we'll see you next time.